Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of October 7th, and I was gone last week. I do apologize for having to be away on such an important full moon week. I mean, every week in the astrology is amazing, and I love diving into it here. But I had some dental work done that kept me from being able to move my mouth around very much, and I really hadn't taken a break from the show in a long time anyways, and so it's good to do that. And so anyways, I missed the full moon in Aries week. It feels like a long time when I'm just gone for a week that I'm away. So lots has occurred, of course. We reached that culmination point with that full moon just last night. So we're really in the midst of it. I'm really doing a full moon show today because, oh my goodness, that is so huge. And the reason a full moon is like, brings in all of the feels is because that this moon has such a strong gravitational pull at that time, with that perfect amount of sunlight coming from the opposite direction to illuminate this entire sphere or whatever it is up there. And then we get the brilliance, we get the brightness, we get the culmination point, we get the head really of it all right there at the full moon. And so we're still in the midst of this. If you need to be working with this energy, this Aries full moon is all about confidence, courage, and boldness, and taking steps in a new direction and initiating new things, new cycles. That's what Aries is about. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It wants to start things and initiate new cycles. It's a fire sign, so we feel like we are passionate. All the fire signs are all passionate. That's what fire signs are. They show us that spark, that passion. And Aries, with the boldness, just goes ramming in and getting the job done. It's a Mars-ruled sign. Each of the signs have a ruling planet, and they exhibit some of these characteristics because of this rulership. And so Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is the warrior planet, is going to be fighting for things, is going to be the aggressor, is going to be also a passionate energy that wants to get things done, take action, and even think about them later. Because Aries is a sign that's all about instinct. It's about connecting with the true instinct that we have as animals, as creatures that can be so deeply connected in to the DNA that we make these instinctual types of feels and decisions. When Aries comes in, we take action on things. And so this is the energy that we start this week with. And it's big, it's strong. This full moon is also a super moon, which means that it's closest to Earth in its rotation. And that makes it look so much brighter and bigger out there. And so if you didn't get to see it last night, I don't know how. I mean, it just illuminates everything and will show you things that you didn't even know existed about yourself, because Aries is about the self. It's about me. And this full moon is shining the light on me and my instincts and my connection to myself and my understanding of my filter and my ego and my stance. So very cool energy to dive into. And it's big. It's bold, you're seeing all kinds of bold action around, but the chart in general is very balanced right now. We've got planets and points really spread out across the whole astrology chart. And so we've got fire energy, we've got water energy, we've got air energy, and earth. It's very balanced. We're in a really good place right now for feeling balanced, feeling harmonious, feeling supported from different directions. And we're going to need this support as we travel into the week. There's some saving grace points. There is some decision-making points. There are some more culmination points this week. And so just to kick it off on October 7th, we have Mercury doing a couple of things today. That is, Mercury's in conjunct to Uranus, and Mercury is also square to Pluto. So Mercury has just moved into a new sign. Mercury is in Scorpio now. So Mercury is the planet that represents our mind and our communication. Also, Mercury is about transportation, and this is coming into a new sign, into a new energy. So our thought processes, our thinking, our mindset is going to be in a more Scorpio state. And Scorpio is a water sign. It's more emotional. It's more deep. It's more dark. And it's also got a lot of depth. It's like a deep, deep ocean. Really, all the water signs are like these oceans of emotion. But Scorpio is the one that's like really deeply connected with the intuition and with source energy. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so it's all about transformation also. So our mind is coming into a new place. We are looking deeper, more deeply at things. We are looking at things in a more transformative state. And Scorpio is like more private. So we might want to like take more time to think about things in private, where we just left Mercury and Libra. That's all about talking to people and sharing how you're feeling and having one-on-one conversations. But when we move into Scorpio, this is more like our communication wants to be more intimate, and it wants to be much more private. And so Mercury is making adjustments to Uranus, which is about surprise and awakening and change and more of this transformative energy. And an inconjunct is 5 signs apart. It's about making adjustments and kind of sitting with things. It doesn't require a lot of action. So we just kind of sit with this new mindset we have. And then we have a square with Pluto also on the 7th of October, which it's tough. This is like any action with Pluto is tough because it's more transformation. It's more of looking into the deeper, darker kind of Scorpio ways of looking at things, deeper and more in depth. And like we are really going to have a death and a rebirth in the way that things are happening when we have Pluto involved. And Pluto is really a key player this week because at the very end of this report week on October 13th, Pluto is stationing direct, and Pluto has been retrograde for a few months, and Pluto does this every year, but this is a point of strength for a planet when it is stationing, and this is in the sky astronomically when you're looking, at this planet's movement across the ecliptic in the sky through the constellations. You will actually see the planet. It looks to us here on Earth that it starts moving backwards in the constellations and in the ecliptic, and that's the retrograde. And then it will stop again and it will start moving forward. And so Pluto is doing that this week, being felt very, very strong to the transformative aspect. I cannot stress enough how much things are changing and transforming and how many little deaths and rebirths are taking place. And if the rebirth hasn't taken place yet, you've just seen a lot of death, then that's the process, right? The closure has to happen before the new openings take place. And when I say death, I don't always mean like physical death, but it can be, but we're talking like accidents, injuries. We're just talking about fear also, like the fear involved, and Pluto is also a lot about control, so this transformations can be in regards to how we are looking at things and how we are releasing fear and releasing control, the death of fear. That sounds a lot better, doesn't it? That's where a death and a rebirth can be very, very positive. And so then the moon on the evening of October 7th moves into Taurus, and we get a change of the mood for Wednesday and into Thursday that is much more grounded, much more slow energy. We slow down a little bit. We kind of take stock of everything we have. We focus on our resources and the tools we have available and just kind of the physical materials around us, and slow everything down. And on October 8th, this is like the kind of one of the little saving grace moments, I guess, of the week. And it's really coloring. It's painting, across the entire week here. And that's Venus in a sextile to Jupiter. And when you talk about Venus and when you talk about Jupiter, you talk about the two most benevolent planets in astrology. They just represent all the good things. Venus is pleasure. She's in Virgo right now. So, she's doing work. She's still near the South Node. And this is a time where, we're going to start feeling more pleasure. Okay. If it's been hard to find your pleasure over the last week and a half to 2 weeks, this is absolutely having to do with the fact that Venus has been traveling over the South Node. The South Node is loss. It's about things that are leaving our life, and places where things we're walking away from, places we're moving away from, friendships kind of fall away, jobs fall away, parts of our routine, parts of our ego, parts of ourselves, parts of our core identity over this eclipse time has fallen away in this South Node area. And Venus has been moving over this point and kind of feeling the aftermath. She's kind of left in the dust behind the Sun and Mercury and Mars right now. And so she's kind of like feeling it a little bit. She's feeling a little grit in her teeth and going to be moving away from that though. And part of this is like her coming into this sextile with Jupiter. And Jupiter's in Cancer, all super happy, bringing all this good luck and wisdom and everything into the home, into everything Cancerian, helping us feel a maximum amount of security and safety in our situations at home. And Jupiter's just the planet of good luck and of good vibes and good energy, enthusiasm. It's also the planet of exaggeration and expansion and making things be bigger, and so Venus has been kind of like pushed down a little bit, and Jupiter's like, hey, I'm going to give you a little boost and we're going to do this, and you're finally going to get out of that South Node area. And by the end of this report week, also on October 13th, the Monday, the same day that Pluto stations direct, Venus is moving out of Virgo and into Libra. So we'll see a big change of all the Venusian themes by the end of the week moving in to next week. So dive into this, Venus is also about money. And so we could see just like it's a good day for money, like all of a sudden our money gets expanded, Venus, Jupiter. We see an exaggeration of our pleasure. We see just like lots of good luck and coming into our relationships and our feelings of love. So that's lovely. Lean into that this week for sure. On October 9th, this is when the moon is moving into Gemini. So we get a switch of the vibe. The moon moves into Gemini and gives us more curiosity. It makes us more of like asking a lot of questions. And this is also an air sign. So we want to kind of have more conversations with other people. And this will kind of balance out the Mercury being in Scorpio. We'll feel on Thursday, Friday, moving into Saturday. It's going to be a little more social of a vibe. So that's good. Good time to hang out with your best friend or whatever. But there are some tough lunar aspects over Thursday and Friday. This report's just not long enough today for me to go into it. But just know that there could be like some some toughness, even with that social vibe, just to watch out for yourself and to pay attention to the vibe and, take yourself where you need to be. And then on Saturday, October 11th, I know I skipped over Friday, but there is a couple of inconjuncts on Thursday and Friday with Venus and Chiron and the Sun in the North Node. But moving into Saturday, Venus is going to be exactly opposite Saturn. And this is going to be a fateful day because the moon is in a T-square with the nodes of fate. So whatever takes place on October 11th, this is going to be a fated day. It's destined. It's a cosmic course correction kind of day. And this opposition with Venus and Saturn is the decision-making point of the week I discussed at the beginning of the report. Venus, we just discussed all the things that she represents. And then Saturn, responsibility. This is like the father figure. This is where you get more of that tough love coming in. There could be a feeling on October 11th that it's just kind of tough, and we're having to make some tough decisions that put love and pleasure on one side and responsibility on the other, unfortunately. And we're going to be faced with this opposition, and we're going to be given this choice point. The moon moves into Cancer then later in the day on the 11th, and that brings us into a more watery, emotional type of mood. We want to be home. We want to be in a secure environment. We want to be with familiar people, with our family. Safety is of the utmost importance when the moon is in Cancer. And then on October 13th, this could be truly a turning point for next week. And this is when Venus moves into Libra. She has just been so challenged in Virgo around the South Node. I mean, all challenges that have been wonderful. Okay, we've learned a lot. There has been some amazing headway that has been made, but now Venus gets to move into her home sign of Libra, and she is stoked. And then we get to have a real, more upbeat vibe in relationships, and within terms of love and money, things will be flowing a lot easier. But she moves into Libra and goes into an opposition with Neptune. Okay, we just talked about the opposition, decision-making point number 2 here. And Neptune is hopes, dreams, and desires. So we put this really high-functioning Libra, it just popped into her home sign, and dreams, hopes, desires on the other side at the very first degrees of Aries that are trying to form and trying to bud. It might not be time for those dreams yet, though. That's my take on that, because Neptune has yet to retrograde back into Pisces, and it is some other opposition that takes place that really has a lot more clarity to it. Neptune is at 0 degrees Aries. There is complete delusion going on all over the place right now. Pluto stations direct this day. Very, very strong Pluto this week. If it feels like everything is transforming, this is the time to move into it. Go into these places, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime Pluto transit at 1 degree of Aquarius. And we will never, unless you live for 250 years, you will never see Pluto again at this point. You will never get this opportunity again. So lean into the transformation, lean into these choice points, and feel into your intuition with all of this Scorpio and with Mercury and Scorpio. Mercury and Scorpio is connected to all of the intuition and bringing things up through the instinctual body, through the DNA. So enjoy that. I have the utmost faith in you. I know it's going to go great, and I will be talking to you again very soon. Appreciate you listening in here to the Cosmic Community Astrology with the Galactic Ambassador, Stacey Dredd. Have an awesome week. Talk to you soon. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.